If you are looking for some fall DIYs that are not going to break the bank, then you are going to love these Dollar Tree DIYs. I'm Jamie, the crafty DIY guy. Welcome back to my channel. All right, everyone, and for Dollar Tree DIY number 1, we are going to be using 2 of these pieces from the Crafter Square section. We're going to go ahead and glue these together. I've just got a square kind of rectangular block there, and then also this round ring. This is a floral ring, but we are going to kind of glue this together to create a tabletop kind of decor piece that we can use for a lot of different seasons. Go ahead and just glue this together using some hot glue, and then you're going to want to add some tape to the center of this. That tape is just going to help this dry and make sure that it is good and sturdy before I take it outside to paint it. And speaking of paint, it is all ready to go now. I kind of painted this dusty yellow color. I've got some garland that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and I also have some garland that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to kind of combine these together. Now, this first garland, this is a very large package of this, and this will end up going around our circle about 2 different times. So go ahead and just kind of weave it in underneath. And then because this garland does have wiring in it, you're going to be very easily be able to just kind of thread this through and just completely wrap this all around. Now, I've got this kind of sped up in the video here, but you can kind of see what you're going for. And you'll kind of do not a super tight wrap and not a super loose wrap, if that makes sense. And if you do this the right way, you're going to be able to get 2 kind of whirls around the ring itself, and this is going to be very cool. You'll see that this is actually very beautiful when it's all done, and it just creates a very cool texture with it. Now, when you've got that one done, then we're going to take our larger garland that I did grab from Hobby Lobby, and we're going to take that apart, and we're going to start wrapping those individual pieces on our ring itself, and just kind of following the circle and kind of working our way all the way up and all the way around. Now, the thing that I really do love about this is because these garland pieces do have a very nice kind of wire trim on them, you're going to be able to use that to your advantage, because that is going to be what you're using to kind of wrap the main part of those branches onto your ring. And then you've got the extra kind of longer pieces there that don't have quite the stiffness of the other wire. So it's good because they're going to kind of free form and they're going to kind of look very viney. And when this is all done, you can add a candle holder in the middle of this. You could do a battery operated candle. I would definitely recommend using a battery operated candle, but as you can see, it is beautiful. It is very versatile. You can use it for a lot of different things. And I think you could very easily spray paint this and use this for another holiday season as well. Now, this next fall DIY is also going to incorporate some Dollar Tree goodies. We've got this pumpkin stake that's kind of a plant stake. We've got this oversized tile that kind of looks like it's a metal tile. I love the texture on these and really love working with these. And then you've got this big frame. Now, this frame has these individual kind of picture holders in there. However, the size of this is about the same size as our tile. We will have to trim this out just a little bit, but you will see that it actually works out really good. And then the idea here is we're going to combine all of these wonderful pieces, and we're going to create a very cool sign for ourselves. Now, go ahead and take your frame. You're going to take all of that apart, and you're also going to take the glass out of there, because we are going to be using that glass to kind of help kind of stiffen up our tile, if you will, because that tile is a very thin kind of a plastic. And you'll see also when you do start trimming that down, it's going to separate from it. Don't worry about that. You'll see that you can easily fix this. Go ahead and take your tile apart. Go ahead and peel that adhesive back off, because you can see you're going to have to trim this up just a little bit. And what we're going to actually do is we're going to take that adhesive back right off of here, and we're going to add it to our glass, because that is going to give us the kind of stiffness that we need, since we are not going to be putting the glass right back onto the frame. It's a good way to recycle and kind of use all the parts of this without having to kind of throw anything away, especially a large piece of glass like that would be really kind of hard to get rid of. Go ahead and peel that backing off, and then, like I said, just go ahead and add your glass. You're going to go ahead and try to center this if you can, and Don't worry about this being perfect. This is not, it's not necessary for it to be perfectly centered. And then once you do, just kind of push this down. And then you're going to very, very carefully kind of trim away any of the excess pieces. Now, the trimming of this is where you're going to start to see your tile actually separate from that adhesive back. And the reason why it does that is because the tile is kind of like a 3D, kind of a textured tile, and it's obviously a faux tile, and it's going to the edges there that you're kind of trimming off are really what's holding that tile onto that backing. So once you've got the two pieces, again, this is not a big deal at all. Go ahead and just make sure that your adhesive part is nicely secure to your glass. And then you're just going to take your glue gun. I took a little bit of my Surebunder all-purpose kind of hot glue. We're just going to add 4 dots in the corner there. Very, very easy to do. And then you can go ahead and just add a little bit of glue across the center here if you want to, and then you're just going to line your tile right back up on top of that glass and go ahead and just push everything down. That is going to keep everything nice and secure for you, and because now you've trimmed it down to the same size as the glass, we know that this is going to fit back inside of our frame. Now I'm going to go ahead and just cut the stem off of that pumpkin, and I'm going to use a old Jenga block that I have here to kind of make our pumpkin stand off of the back of it. These Jenga blocks were actually gifted to me from a friend of mine that used to work at a brewery. They were just some old games that they were getting rid of, and these were actually used for I believe it was a foster children's kind of event, and they were writing different things on each block that kind of just kind of went with being a foster parent. It's actually kind of a cool story, and I've used these blocks before. You've probably seen them on my channel if you are familiar with my channel. So I did kind of make my pumpkin, instead of centering it, I kind of put it towards the top of the frame there because I am going to add a little bit of a floral spray here, and I just wanted something that was kind of, that would go with the black and the white and the the metal and the gray there, and just kind of have something that was kind of seasonal and kind of fall, but then also something that would go really good in my home decor. So go ahead and just kind of create your floral stems. You're going to create a spray or really any kind of bundle or bunch that you want on the bottom of your pumpkin. Now, I did decide to go ahead and add a little bit more colorful bow. I loved this orange and white and black ribbon that I ended up getting. I just kind of accordion folded it, and then I'm adding a zip tie in the middle here, and we're just going to create a kind of puffy bow. Go ahead and take your two bows and your floral spray, combine those together, and you've got a really, really cute custom sign that you created all for yourself. This next piece of fall decor is going to incorporate this planter that I have from Dollar Tree, as well as these two pumpkin wreath forms. Now, when I grabbed these, I actually had one of them on hand, and then the other pumpkin form was from this year. I took them outside and I spray painted them that kind of dusty yellow, and you'll see that when you go to kind of put them together to kind of create a 3D kind of pumpkin effect, they're not going to fit perfectly together. And I don't know if that is because one of these was from last year and one is from this year, and maybe they're just a couple different sizes. I'm not exactly sure. However, we can make the best of it. And the way that we're going to do that is with some black floral wire. Now, I'm just going to take some wire here. We're going to clip off a little piece of it, and we are going to join our pumpkins together at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and start with the bottom first, and then the great thing about this is because the wire is kind of thin after you've kind of wired that bottom piece together, you could also kind of do the same at the top, and you'll start to see that it does kind of start to take a little bit of a shape like a pumpkin. And it's kind of perfect, honestly, because it kind of is giving it a little bit of a trellis effect once we start to add our florals. And to do that, we're actually adding some garland. So the great thing about these pumpkins, and when you spray paint them, if you don't get them all completely covered, you can see that I've got some of the original original kind of color of those wire pumpkin shells showing through. That is not a big deal at all because that is going to only add some texture and some character to this. So go ahead and take 2 packages of the Dollar Tree garland. The fall garland, you can get these with the sparkly leaves or without, totally up to you which one you wanted to grab. I ended up grabbing 2 of the ones that have the gold kind of leaf in it, and it was fine. It was fine. I probably would have preferred to go with the kind of non glittery leaf. You know, Dollar Tree loves some glitter, but that's okay. It ended up working out just fine, and you don't really even notice it. And when you do notice it, it adds just a kind of a nice bit of color. So you've got the garland. You're kind of starting it at the bottom there where those kind of O-rings are. And each garland, by the way, will wrap around this pumpkin form at least once. So that's why I did grab 2, because I still do want to see some of that wire. I'm not trying to completely cover up that wire. And again, we're just taking those garlands. We're going to wrap all the way around. And then we will go ahead and get rid of those O-rings at the end once you've got everything kind of secured and tied off. So now that I've got this initial wrap done, we are going to go ahead and start to add some floral foam into our planter here, which, by the way, I did spray paint this kind of steel color, which I think is really, really cool. It kind of looks like an old rusted pot. Now, go ahead and add your floral foam, and then if you do need to add a couple other stacks, I ended up adding a round stack in here. Basically, what I'm trying to do is get this pumpkin form to be able to sit right on top of that foam, and it ended up working out perfectly with just one of those half rounds and then one of the floral blocks from Dollar Tree. Now, to secure this to the bottom, all I did was add some bobby pins in this and then a bunch of hot glue, and that actually held everything together really, really nicely, which was great. Now that I've got everything kind of sturdy, I'm going to go ahead and take an old hula skirt, and we are going to cut off some of these pieces here. If you didn't grab a hula skirt this summer, you're probably going to be kicking yourself when you're doing some DIYs for the fall. This is the greatest hack that I learned a long, long time ago. It is so great to see those hula skirts in the springtime and just grab a couple of them and save them for all of your holiday decor, because these make like doing these raffia ribbons or these raffia pieces so easy. It's a lot less messy than using just the other raffia pieces that come out with Dollar Tree. And this is a total game changer for me. Now, I just went ahead and cut off some pieces that were probably about 6 or 8 inches long, and we're just kind of randomly placing them down below. This is not meant to kind of completely cover up this whole area, but it's just kind of meant to add some texture and some greenness to this. Now, for our floral pieces, we did go ahead and take apart some leaf stems, and then I've got some floral stems. I've got a mix of some mums and some different flowers and leaves, and we're just going to start adding those into our basket here, and we are going to add them on both sides, just making sure that we're covering up as much of that floral foam and as much of that empty space as possible. So once you've got this nice and full and this is looking beautiful, we are now going to kind of cover up that stem a little bit more. And the way I'm doing this is just by taking some nautical rope or some twine, and we are just going to go ahead and completely wrap that stem up. When you do that, it also kind of helps camouflage the fact that this does not match up perfectly. And it's a great way to, again, add some texture. So once you've got your stem completely covered, then you are done. You could certainly add some little twinkle lights or some fairy lights to this if you wanted to. I really think this is beautiful. I love the way this looks, and this is going to be a great centerpiece on my dining room table. Now, if you have a tiered tray or a small little coffee table and you want the perfect little accent, then this little wheelbarrow DIY is going to be perfect. Go ahead and add some scatter pieces, just some small pumpkins, some pine cones, some leaves. We've got this little galvanized wheelbarrow that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and then we are going to add in some hay bales. Now, if you are able to shop in Michael's, Hobby Lobby, any store right now that's got Christmas ornaments. You can probably find a very similar kind of wheelbarrow. These scatter pieces are available. I've seen these at Dollar Tree. I've seen some at Hobby Lobby. I've seen them at Michael's. It's really just the right size for the wheelbarrow that you're doing. Go ahead and take your hay bales, and you're just going to kind of arrange them in your wheelbarrow, keeping in mind, of course, that you want kind of that overflowing kind of wheelbarrow with all this fall goodness in there. So go ahead and, as you are placing down your haystacks and everything, kind of start thinking about that, thinking about building layers and tiers and height, because now the fun part begins where you can kind of take these fall leaves and these other fall pine cones and other pieces and really start kind of creating your little perfect wheelbarrow environment here. Now, again, just lots of hot glue. Go ahead and just add those in, add those little floral pieces, those little leaves, those little stems. And as you were doing this, you were kind of building up each layer. This is so, so cute. Add your pine cones, add your pumpkins. And when you are done, you've got the absolute cutest, perfect little fall wheelbarrow that is going to be ideal for any tiered tray that you have in your fall decor this season. Now for this next DIY, this is really, really cute. I found this rake at Family Dollar. It was $5, and I thought that this could be something really, really fun to keep in mind for fall decor. So I took this rake outside and I spray painted it that kind of galvanized steel color. That's a Rust-Oleum color. And what's so great about it is it's kind of a hammered color, so it gives you a lot of texture. And we are going to add some of these holiday mums. These mums also came from Family Dollar. They are very large stems, and they were $5 for the entire bundle, so this entire project cost me about $10. We're going to take those mums and we are going to separate them from the stem itself. The stem is very, very thick, which is probably a good thing for using that in a vase or something, but for this project and this DIY, we're going to actually separate them. The thing we're also going to do is we're going to take all of the lower leaves off of these, and we're going to do that because we want these to be able to adhere to the handle of our rake. So go ahead and take those stems and then take the bottom leaves off of all of those. And then these particular stems ended up having this kind of little extra plastic piece that was kind of hanging there on the bottom. We're just going to go ahead and trim those off. You can use scissors for this. You could use your lineman pliers like I'm doing. Any of these kind of tools will work because this was just plastic at the very bottom. It didn't have any wire or anything in them, so they were actually really, really easy to go ahead and just kind of trim up. Now, once you've got those all trimmed up, go ahead and figure out how you want to place these on how you want to lay these out, I guess, on your rake. So after I kind of joined the different colors together, I just took a very simple piece of twine, and we are going to just kind of tie a very simple but very sturdy kind of knot in here, and then we can kind of arrange our floral pieces. And then once you've got that kind of in place and held together, then it's time to go ahead and join those stems together at the other end, and we're going to start wrapping this completely in our twine. Now, the great thing about this is it's very, very easy to kind of manipulate those mums once you do kind of start wrapping that twine around the base of your stems. Because everything has metal in there, it's very, very easy to kind of continue to do this. So you're going to completely cover where all of these stems are in twine. And when you've got that done, then you're going to take a piece of holiday ribbon. Any kind of ribbon that coordinates well with your decor is going to be perfect. Just go ahead and take a very simple zip tie bow, add that to your rake, and add some trailing pieces, and you've got a gorgeous piece for your door. This is what it looks like hanging in the craft room, but as you can see on my yellow front door, it is magical. I absolutely love the way that this turned out. This last DIY is so easy. If you can find these 3 stacks of pumpkins, whether you find them in the solid orange or you find the tricolor ones like I've got, either one works really, really well for this. And what's so great about these pumpkins is that they are not solid they actually allow a lot of light to filter in, with the exception of the white one that's going to be at the very top. So you can very easily add lights to these. You can have a lighted pumpkin stack right for your front porch or for your outdoor decor very, very easily by adding an LED light or a candle like I've got here. This is battery operated. Look how bright this is. Now, this is 2, just so you know, but again, the color is absolutely beautiful. All right, you guys, let me know in the comments below which project was your favorite. I definitely think the little wheelbarrow was probably one of my favorite ones for sure. Such a cute idea, perfect for a little tier tray. I know for myself, I have a small kitchen, and so I decorate a tiered tray whenever I want to kind of decorate the kitchen for a holiday. It's a great way to just put some small little knick-knacky trinket stuff, and it's a great way to kind of keep changing out that decor as well. If you are a subscriber of mine, thank you so much for being here. If you're not subscribed or you're not sure that you're subscribed, definitely check it out. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It will alert you every time I have a brand new video. And of course, if you have been with me for a long, long time and you are an OG, that just means you're a part of the original gang. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly, truly appreciate it. I am trying my hardest to get to 100,000 subscribers, and I could not do it without all of you guys. So I'm a little under the weather. The ragweed or whatever it is right now is really doing a number on my my like sinuses and stuff. So forgive this kind of scratchiness that you hear right now, but I'll be back very, very soon with some new DIY videos shortly. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.